Okay, so welcome to another long-anticipated, long-awaited comic book review video. I do these occasionally on this channel. Sometimes they get views and sometimes they don't. It's unpredictable. Hopefully this is one that people are going to watch. So essentially, right, we're all aware of the fact that Disney purchased Marvel Entertainment and also 20th Century Fox. And one thing they decided to do with this conglomeration was a new series of 20th Century Fox related properties, comic books produced by Marvel, right? And my theory is they weren't selling because I've read some of them, some of the Alien ones and some of the Predator ones, and they're not great. Some of them are okay, some of them aren't. But my theory is that they weren't able to shift units, so they got desperate. They decided to start doing a series of crossover comic books with Marvel characters fighting the Predator. Spoiler alert, out of the three that they've produced so far, I think they're batting at a 1 out of 3. They're 1/3 of these are good so far. Also, the guy that's written all of these is now writing Predator versus the Marvel Universe. That's like a spiritual sequel to The Punisher kills the Marvel Universe and Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe, which they did twice. They did 2 versions of Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe, and out of the 3 of those, once again, it's a strike rate of 1 for 3. One of those is good and 2 of them are whack. Like, before I get into the individual reviews, I want to talk about, they did Godzilla versus the Marvel Universe recently, right? And I just love the way that they structured that. So you have an issue of Godzilla versus the Fantastic Four, you have an issue of him versus Spider-Man, an issue of him versus the Avengers. Like, instead of having a 4-issue run of Godzilla just fighting the Fantastic Four, they did 1 issue of him fighting the Fantastic Four, and that's it. These Predator versus various characters, they feel like, to me, trying to maximize income. So if we make 4 issues of each of these, we can now instead make 3 trade paperbacks, sell them at 20 quid each. Whereas the Godzilla one, that's 20 quid, and you get like 6 or 7 issues of Godzilla fighting various. He fights the X-Men as well in that, and like, that's just the format that I think they should have done for these Predator comics. So I guess I'll review the 3 runs now, one at a time. So the first one that they did was Predator versus Wolverine, and like, I can see why this one sold. I can see why I personally was swindled into picking this one up, because it just is a very heavy metal idea. You know what I mean? It lends itself that both characters are known for graphic violence. The more you think about it, it's completely mismatched. Like, Wolverine has the upper hand. He has an indestructible skeleton. He can heal from anything. He can smell really well, so he can probably smell the Predator, so his cloaking device isn't going to be worth much. And like, my main issue, pardon the pun, with this run is that essentially it doesn't seem like they could decide on which era of Wolverine they wanted this Predator fight to happen in. So like, they have him with the bone claws before he loses his memories. They have him in Japan. They have him with the X-Men. They couldn't, instead of having one setting where the Predator is hunting Wolverine, and have it be like the first Predator movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, where it's just kind of man versus beast kind of a thing. Instead of doing that, they have this Predator has a blood feud with Wolverine, and he keeps coming back to fight him throughout his whole entire life. And my main issue was that, like, the Wolverine never fucks up the Predator in any major way. You know what I mean? I thought you could have him take an arm or like a hand, chop a hand off of the Predator, and then the Predator has a hook. A hook hand would totally be appropriate for like the warrior tribe kind of society that the Predators have. You know what I mean? It's like the way a pirate has a hook hand. Like, the Predators are like kind of inspired by various like barbarian tribes of the past. They get around the fact that this Predator goes unscathed despite fighting someone who goes into berserker rages that makes them an unstoppable killing machine. The Predator just keeps like escaping. The Wolverine will be slightly distracted by something, and then Predator will escape. It just keeps happening, and that seems so lame. It seems so weak. It seems so like just poorly written. The art styles really massively vary. from one era to another. So I think like it's the same with the other couple of these Predator runs, but in the other ones they seem to be inked by the same person or colored by the same person, so all the art looks like it's from one cohesive run, whereas in this Wolverine one it feels like it's cutting between vastly different art styles, which it is. There's one shot in it that looks like AI. It's a shot of someone's hand, and it just looks like they did it in AI. This one I'm giving a thumbs down review. That seems to be my review scale, as thumbs up or thumbs down. It's good or bad, and I'm giving that a bad. Surprisingly, the one that I like the most is Predator versus Black Panther, and the reason that surprises me is that this is the one that is the most mismatched, in my opinion. The Black Panther not only has super advanced technology, but also his suit is made out of Captain America's shield. What the fuck is the Predator going to be able to do? But I don't know, they did a lot. It seems like they did a lot to tie in the Predator technology and the history of the Predators coming to this planet with the technological advancements of Wakanda. They're kind of tied in and they're one and the same. There's a lot of stuff of Shuri like hacking into Predator's technology and figuring out the way that their tech works, and that feels very appropriate for the character. A lot of people fucking die, which I guess that's what happens in Predator related media, but I don't know, just seeing the Predator fight the Dora Milaje, or else there's this clan in it called the War Dogs where they have Black Panther costumes, but the costumes are white, and I guess they're supposed to look more like dogs than panthers, but a couple of those die, a couple of the Dora Milaje die, and it seems like, I don't know, some people that didn't have expendable written on them got killed in this, and it made it feel like more true to like what the Predator movies are like. It's just a fucking like absolutely awesome showdown where the Predator takes off his helmet, and Black Panther recognizes that like they're doing a mano-a-mano thing like the Arnold movie, so he takes off his helmet and he like depowers his suit, I think like down to the waist, and they just have like a brawl. Comic book, you're expecting the hero to win, he beats the Predator, you know what I mean, same as all the Predator movies as well, the hero always wins at the end, but the Predator actually beats Black Panther. He spares him, which I guess is like he respects him as another warrior, but like it's just a thing that I didn't see coming. It's set in an era prior to Wakanda going public, so they have no contact with the Avengers or anything like that. Shuri gets on the outside of Wakanda and gets locked out by the Predators, and she sends out a distress signal, and Falcon shows up. There's just my favorite interaction in any of these Predator comics I've read so far. So he's a total outsider. Wakanda is still a secret to the world, and he's like, so you're telling me there's a hidden invisible society in the middle of this jungle here, and it's currently being attacked by aliens? And she's just like, yes. And I don't know, it's so blunt, it's so to the point, and it removes you from how ridiculous this whole thing is. And just if an outsider did show up and start asking questions like that, it would seem so absurd. They do, and this is the thing across all of them, they have so much characterization of the Predators, which I think risks ruining the like ethos, the mythos of the Predator. I think the Predator, like, all we need to know about him is that he's an alien who likes hunting. In this particular one, the Predator is the son of a chieftain of this tribe, and he has an older brother who's bigger and stronger, and he's trying to prove himself via going to Wakanda to get vibranium so that he can like take over his father's tribe, or like prove that he is a true predator or whatever. It's like there's just too much going on there, man. I just prefer when the Predator's just there killing things. I like that in Prey, that he's just doing that, you know what I mean? He's there just fighting a bear or a crocodile or whatever. Really, like, there's a couple of pages at the very start of the Predator homeworld, and the art is like, it really sets a different tone and it makes it look unique, but it doesn't clash with the rest of the art in the book the way that the Wolverine art styles were all clashing with each other. So this is a thumbs up review, the one that I wasn't expecting. The reason why I was expecting the fucking Wolverine one to be my favourite is because I've read a hell of a lot of Wolverine. I've read pretty much no Black Panther comics. I read a couple of X-Men ones that he's in with Storm. I've read some Daredevil where he went to Wakanda and they throw the Dora Milaje throw spears at him, but they're heat seeking, so he dodges them when he's like haha, and then they just like curve back around and you know what I mean. So I've read some Black Panther comics, but I was expecting to go into that one with like no frame of reference for what was going on beyond the 2018 movie and, you know what I mean, Black Panther's appearance in Infinity War. I've read so much Wolverine, so I really expected to go into Predator versus Wolverine being like, this is going to be great, and then went into Black Panther versus Predator thinking, this is so stupid. The way I thought that was going to go is Black Panther, surely, if anybody in all of the MCU is going to do any kind of like diplomacy, I feel like T'Challa would like try and communicate. I feel like the Wakandans would figure out a way to communicate with the Predators and realize what they want. You know what I mean? They'd probably capture one and study it and treat it humanely. You know what I mean? Like that's what Black Panther versus the Predator seems like it's going to be. So I was expecting like, I don't know, something entirely different, but it is I don't know, I was a fan. Predator versus Spider-Man, I expected to like this. I've read so much Wolverine, I've read so much Spider-Man, I went into both of these with high expectations, and this one was whack. This one was a thumbs down. I don't like this one. There's some really interesting stuff of Kraven the Hunter is trying to hunt down the Predator, and like in my mind it's like that's what the whole comic should have been, just Kraven versus Predator. That's a fucking great idea. Fuck everything else to do with the whole rest of this comic. Like, I'm in two minds about if this is favoured in Spidey's direction or favoured in the Predator's direction. You know what I mean? At first I thought the Predator could kill Spider-Man fairly easily, but then when they actually start fighting in the comic, it you become kind of more conscious of, well, Spider-Man could totally like debilitate a couple of these guys, you know what I mean? It's like this one, you have a rogue Predator who's the meanest Predator, so he's coming here and doing super mean kills. He like rips someone's face off of their skull just with his hand and then puts that over his face like a mask. So he's like a serial killer version of a Predator, and three other Predators show up to hunt down that Predator to be like, you can't be doing that, you're disgracing all of us. It spirals out of control very quickly. Some cool stuff of like J. Jonah Jameson has a side plot and Mary Jane has a side plot, and they all kind of converge at the same place. You know what I mean? That's just good writing. The fact that all of these ABCs, they all end up in the same area at the end, that's a low bar to cross, I guess. The art, I don't know. The art in Spider-Man comics is just, I'm always a fan. I just love the spindly, anatomically impossible positions that Spider-Man is drawn in when he's swinging around, and the gore in this is the most hardcore out of the three of these. This is kind of the level that you would expect if you're going for, you know what I mean, explicit comics. The Kraven showdown is so cool. They spare him as well. They recognize him as a warrior and spare him, but he fucking kills the shit out of one of them. It's awesome. I talk about getting clicks for the Daily Planet, because this came out in 2025, so it's like, that's kind of gross, rather than, and then they're like, the power goes down in the city, so Peter's like, we got to get this out, we got to get this news of the Predators out the old way on old media. We need to be printing newspapers and getting feet on the pavement and sell them to people because the power's out. I'm referring to Predators as Yautja, Yautja, something like that. They're just called Predators, you know what I mean? They always work in a way for someone to say the word Predator in these comics, which I like. I don't know. I feel like you have to. They're called the Predators. That's what they should be called. L's, 2 L's and 1 W. And that's not a good strike rate. And they're doing another one with the same fucking writer. And as I said, I don't like Punisher versus the Marvel Universe, despite being a Punisher fan. I don't like the second Deadpool versus the Marvel Universe, despite really liking the first run of that. So just going into that with zero to little expectations at all, and I'm sure I'm still going to be disappointed when I read it. Read Marvel versus Godzilla if you're gonna read any. If you're planning on reading any Marvel crossovers that have come out recently, that's the only one that I'd recommend. Maybe the Black Panther one. The Black Panther one. If you like the Black Panther movie, I think you would be interested in that comic. The Spider-Man and the Wolverine ones, you know what I mean? Hard pass. Hard pass. I guess the title of this video is going to be, why do they keep making these? And the answer to that is money.